All right, starting seated. Finding that comfortable spot on your seat where the sit bones feel even. You might rock side to side a little bit or forward to back. And really just notice if one side feels heavier than the other. We do often tend to lead to one side or lean to one side. So just noticing and seeing if you can balance it out. Then once you've found your center, your balance, notice your feet on the floor. Let the backs of the thighs rest down on your chair. And giving a gentle push into the ground with the feet, lifting the chest, lifting the crown of the head, and softening the shoulders down. As you're here in this tall seat, as the shoulders rest down, let the elbows feel a bit heavy. You might close your eyes at this point or keep the gaze soft if the eyes are open. Notice the hands and where they're resting. If they feel good, palms down, they could rest that way, or palms up, depending on how you feel and how it feels in your body. As you sit here, breathing, how would it feel to soften the forehead any amount? Softening the cheeks, the lips, the jaw. Moving down into the abdomen, how would it feel to soften the belly? Noticing how it feels to breathe this morning. Spending a few moments here just noticing the breath. Let's start by gently moving into the hands this morning. We'll start off by bringing the tip of each finger to the tip of the thumb in turn. And start either with the pinky or with the first finger, just making your way through each finger. When you've touched each finger to the thumb a couple of times, we'll stretch into the fingers, reaching the fingertips away, stretching into the hand. And then make a fist with the thumb on the outside of your fingers, drawing the fingers in towards the palm. And again, stretching the fingers apart. And drawing the fingers into a fist. One more time, stretching the fingers apart. And drawing the fingers into a fist. Releasing the fingers, letting them be soft again. Noticing any sensations in the fingers, in the palms, in the wrists. Let's move up into the head a little bit. With your next exhale, tip your chin down towards the chest. And hold here for a couple of breaths. Imagine breathing space into the back of your neck. The shoulders might melt down. When your next inhale arrives, let's lift the head, tipping the chin up towards the ceiling, not going to the furthest point, but just a gentle lift. And then exhaling when your exhale arrives, back down, chin towards chest. We'll continue to move in this way, following your own breath. And noticing if any tension has crept in anywhere else in your body. Softening the fingers. Softening the belly. Just moving the head, following your breath. When you've done both sides about evenly, making your way back to center, head facing forward. Noticing sensations, giving yourself the time and space. With the next exhale, we'll turn the head towards one side as though you were looking over one shoulder. Coming back to center as you're ready, inhaling. And exhaling in the other direction. Again, moving with your breath pattern, inhaling to center and exhaling to one side. The turn can be as subtle or as deep as feels good in your body. Letting this be your last round. Eventually making your way back to center. And giving yourself the time and space to notice sensations. Let's move into the shoulders a little bit. Starting with our shoulder rolls, hands can lift or they can stay on your lap. Rolling in whichever direction feels right to begin. And let's switch the roll, rolling the shoulders the other way. And then releasing the shoulders as you're ready. Let's move the arms with breath, starting with the hands down beside you. We'll start to inhale and spread the palms wide, reaching the arms wide and up as high as feels okay for the shoulder, maybe all the way to palms reaching. And then exhaling to sweep the arms all the way back down. So if there's any pain in the shoulder, reduce the amount that you sweep, inhaling up and exhaling down. Going to wherever feels good in your body. About twice more if it feels okay. Next time you exhale, release the hands. Maybe bringing them back down to your lap, noticing how the shoulders feel. Then again, releasing your hands down by your sides. We'll sweep the arms forward and up this time. Again, only going as high as feels okay for the shoulders. With your next inhale, sweeping arms forward and up. Exhaling down. 3 times more. Letting this be the last one. As you land back on your exhale, releasing hands to your lap again. Giving yourself once more the time and space to notice sensations in the shoulders, in the arms, or anywhere else that you might be feeling anything. Coming back up to the neck briefly. Inhale and center. Exhaling to tip one ear towards one shoulder. And let the opposite shoulder feel a little bit heavy, if that feels okay. Breathing here for a moment, stretching the opposite side of the neck. Letting it be a very gentle stretch. When your next exhale arrives, turning the nose towards that same shoulder. Breathing here for a moment or two if it feels okay. Then turning the ear back towards the shoulder. And inhaling back to center. Pausing for a moment before we switch sides. Noticing any sensations in the neck. And when you're ready, exhaling other ear to other shoulder. Letting the opposite shoulder feel a bit heavy. Breathing here. As your next exhale arrives, turning the nose towards the shoulder. Spending a breath or two here if it feels okay. Then returning ear towards the shoulder. And inhaling all the way back up to center. Pausing here for a moment. Noticing any difference from one side of the neck to the other, one shoulder to the other. Moving down into the fingers. Let's interlace the fingers. And kind of squeeze or wiggle your fingers together, almost massaging, using one hand to massage the opposite hand between the fingers, way down at the base of the fingers. Either staying here, or if it would serve you and it feels okay for the hands, we could stretch the palms away in front of us. Stretching into the fingers, maybe imagining stretching out through the wrists. And again, option to stay here, or if it would serve you, we could lift the arms above the head. About 2 breaths here. You've joined us, Luna. Then releasing the hands back down towards your lap. Coming back to that interlace. And then let's switch. Whichever thumb is on top, we'll now put underneath. Switching the clasp. Shifting the fingers over. And same thing, massaging the fingers a little bit of movement, a little bit of wiggle. Then either continuing with this if this serves you, or if it would feel good, we could reach the palms in front of us. Again, either staying here, or if it would serve you, reaching up overhead. As you're ready, releasing the arms, releasing the hands, releasing the fingertips, maybe shaking the hands out if that would feel good. Coming into some wrist circles, we'll try it 2 ways. Starting off, we'll have the hands kind of loose, not making fists rather, and finding some ankle circles with an open hand. Then switching directions when you're ready. And pausing for a moment. Bringing the thumb in towards the palm and then closing the fingers over top. So making a closed fist, with the thumb tucked inside, finding some wrist circles rather. Just noticing any difference in sensation from the open hand. And then switching directions. Again, releasing the hands, shaking out the fingers. Maybe a little wiggle of the torso, wiggle of shimmy of the shoulders, shaking the arms a little bit. Let's move down into the spine, starting with a side bend today. Let's bring the arms out wide like an airplane, as if we have airplane wings. Reaching the fingertips out to the side as though you're stretching lightning through your fingertips to the opposite sides of the room. Lots of power in the arms. Inhale to lift the chest and crown of the head. Sit bones stay heavy. Exhale to tip over to one side. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling other side. Moving with your breath, about twice more on each side. Keeping the arms strong and the sit bones heavy. And then making your way back to center as you're ready. Releasing the hands once you feel even. Giving yourself that time, notice sensations. And then either repeating that side bend or we'll try another version. Let's drop the left hand down beside you. Right arm will reach up and overhead. As you exhale, reaching the right fingertips over to the left, left hand gets heavy. Inhaling back up. We'll keep the same side twice more. And inhaling up. Releasing right hand down. Pausing for a moment, noticing sensation. And then we'll set up other side. Right hand will drop down beside us. Left arm will sweep up and overhead. As you exhale, tipping over to the right. Right hand gets heavy, left hand, fingertips reach. Inhaling back up. Exhaling twice more, same side. Inhaling up as you're ready. Releasing the hands back to your lap, noticing sensations. Let's move into our twist. Keeping the feet firm. Again, reminding yourself, slight push of the feet into the ground to keep the legs, hips, knees all stable. As you exhale, let's turn the shoulders towards the left. Hands can walk along the thigh or the knee. You might reach back behind you to get to the backrest of the chair or towards the back of the seat of the chair. With every inhale, thinking about lifting the spine. With every exhale, settling into the twist. If it would feel good for the neck, you could look over the left shoulder. Breathing as deeply as possible, as deeply as comfortable, even in the twist. Unwinding all the way back to center. Pausing here, noticing sensations or differences from one side of the body to the other. With your next inhale, crown of the head lifts, not lots of length in the spine. Exhaling to turn to the right this time. Right hand might come to the backrest or behind you on the seat of the chair. With every inhale, lengthening the spine, crown of the head lifts. With every exhale, settling into the twist. You might look over the right shoulder. And slowly unwinding, making your way back to center. Noticing any difference from one side of the body to the other. Move into arching and rounding of the spine. You can stay as you are. I'll turn sideways so you can see the movement I'm making. Starting off with hands on knees or thighs. Reconnecting with the tall spine, the mountain pose of seated poses. Crown of the head lifts. Legs are stable, feet are pushing into the floor, sit bones are heavy. When your exhale arrives, pushing the thighs away, spreading apart the shoulder blades, and reaching the belly button as though it could go back behind you towards the back of the chair. With an inhale, we'll draw chest and belly forward, shoulder blades pulled together, pushing the heart forward, gaze might lift. Exhaling to round the spine, cat. And inhaling to arch the spine, cow. Moving with your own breath between these two shapes and letting the breath guide you. When you've had enough, when you feel both directions are about even. Making your way back to center, back to the tall seat. Noticing sensations in the body again. You're okay, Luna. You're okay. Let's move down into the legs now, shifting a little bit forward on your seat so that the sit bones are closer to the edge and your legs and thighs have a little more room to move. Starting with the left leg, we'll draw left knee up towards you, towards your chest or lifted. And we'll find some hip circles with this side. So as small or big a hip circle as feels good in your body, exploring your range of motion. Let's switch directions when you're ready. And as the knee arrives back towards center the next time, we'll hold either around the shin or behind the thigh and find some ankle circles on the left side. Switching directions when you're ready. Let's point and flex the foot a few times. And then releasing left foot to the floor. Pausing for a moment, noticing any difference in sensation from one leg to the other. And then we'll draw right knee up towards the chest, either holding under the thigh or around the shin. And we'll find some ankle circles on this side. Switching directions when you're ready. And the next time the right knee comes forward, holding either behind the thigh or around the shin, we'll find some ankle circles on this side. Switching directions when you're ready. And then pointing and flexing the foot a few times. Then we'll release right foot back to the floor, giving yourself that pause, that moment, noticing sensations. Then coming back to the left knee for a moment, drawing the knee up towards you. This time, if you would like to go with no hands, then drawing the knee up as high as you can before catching. And then we'll pull the left knee out towards the left, and then back in towards center. We'll do that twice more, holding it on the third time. So with this third round, holding the knee out to the left. And then how would it feel to imagine drawing the left knee back even further without the use of your hand, using the muscles in your leg and hip? Keep breathing. How would it feel to release some of the support of your hand? Can the knee support itself? Keep breathing. And then drawing left knee back towards center. Releasing left foot to the ground. Noticing for a moment any difference in sensation, outer hip area, anywhere else that you might feel it as well. And then we'll come back to the right knee. So either drawing right knee up with your hands or drawing the knee up towards you with no hands. And then bringing in the support of your hand, drawing right knee out to the right and back to center. Twice more, we'll hold for the third time. On this one, we'll keep the right knee out towards the right and imagine drawing the right knee even further back with the muscular support of your leg. How would it feel to reduce some of the support your hand is offering? Can the hand let go completely? How would that feel? Keep breathing. And let's bring right knee forward again. Releasing the foot to the floor. Noticing sensations in the outer hip or differences from one leg to the other. All right, let's move into our sun salutations. We'll probably come back to a little bit of hip work in our balancing poses. Either keeping the feet parallel, or you could widen the legs. So your leg position will depend on whether it feels better as we lean forward or fold forward to have some compression between thighs and belly, or whether it would feel better, to have space for the torso to come through the legs. So you can decide which position works best today, and it might vary from day to day. Setting yourself up, feet nice and firm, pushing into the ground, lifting the chest, lifting the crown of the head. With your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up as high as they feel good going. Exhaling back to the thighs. With an inhale, drawing chest and belly forward, cow pose, heart forward. Exhaling to round the spine like a Halloween cat. Inhaling back to a tall and neutral spine. Exhaling to fold forward. Forearms might come to the knees, fingertips might trace the shins, or the hands might come to the floor. With an inhale, we'll sweep the right arm up into a twist. Exhaling the right arm back down. Inhaling the left arm up into a twist. Exhaling the left arm down. Next inhale brings us back to our tall seat, arms sweep up. Exhaling, hands to thighs. Pausing for a breath here, adjusting the feet if you wish. And with your next inhale, again, we'll sweep arms up. Exhaling, hands to thighs. Inhaling to draw chest forward, cow. Exhaling to round the spine, cat. Inhaling back to a tall and neutral spine. And exhaling to fold forward. With an inhale, right arm sweeps up into a twist. Exhaling the right arm back down. Inhaling left arm up into a twist. Exhaling left arm back down. Inhaling, both arms sweep up, bringing us back to a tall seat. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Pausing again for a moment, adjusting feet as necessary or desired. We'll move through our last sun salutation. With an inhale, sweeping the arms up as far as they feel good. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Inhaling to draw the chest forward, cow pose. Exhaling to round the spine, cat pose. Coming back to a neutral spine. Exhale to fold forward. With an inhale, right arm sweeps up into a twist. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm up into a twist. Exhale, left arm down. Coming back to a tall seat, inhale, both arms sweep as high as they feel good going. Exhaling, hands back to thighs. Beautiful. Breathing for a moment, noticing sensations or any warmth or flow of energy in the body. Let's come up through our chair pose today. So adjusting feet and bringing the heels in towards the chair a little further. Bringing hands either to your hips or to prayer pose. We'll start to move the weight into the heels, lifting off the chair just enough so that you're hovering over. Thinking about keeping the sit bones high, sit bones low, heart high, and breathing. 2 more breaths if it feels okay to be here, knowing you can come out anytime you wish. And then coming all the way up to standing. Releasing the hands. Finding a little wiggle of the legs if the thighs need a little attention after that chair pose. And let's find ourselves standing in front of the seat of the chair. So we'll do a bit of a standing flow and then move into some balance poses. So finding yourself a good distance so that when you bend forward, your hands can comfortably land on the seat of the chair. Knees can be bent or straight when this happens. And then coming to stand. Letting the feet be a comfortable distance apart, whether that's hip width distance or wider or more narrow. Feeling that both feet have the weight evenly distributed. Notice if you're carrying the weight in the back or front of the foot and seeing if you can even that out as well. And letting the hands rest down by your sides, shoulders melting down. With an inhale, we'll sweep the arms up as high as they feel good going. Exhaling to bend the knees, reaching down the legs as far as feels okay. Inhaling to straighten the legs any amount. Exhaling to bend the knees again. Inhaling to straighten. Exhaling to bend. Bending the knees generously. Let's inhale all the way back up to standing. And release hands back down to your sides. Taking a breath here. We'll move through that once more. Inhaling to sweep arms up. Exhaling to bend the knees, reaching down the legs as far as you can. Inhaling to straighten the legs any amount. Exhaling to bend again. Inhaling to straighten. Exhaling to bend. Inhaling all the way up. Exhaling, hands to your sides. Beautiful. This time we'll add on some chair work. When you're ready, inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend knees, reaching down to legs. Inhaling to straighten the legs any amount. Exhaling to bend them. Inhaling to straighten. Exhaling to bend. With your inhale, bringing the palms to the seat of the chair. And pausing here, knees can be bent or straight. Shifting the hold your hands have on the chair so that you're holding the outside edges of the chair, if that's possible on the chair you're using. we're going to come into a balance pose here, a variation of Warrior 3. Moving your feet closer together. They can be the same distance away from the chair, but just bringing the feet in so that they're almost touching. Maybe they touch. And this is so that when we lift one leg, we don't throw our balance off. We'll start by standing on the left leg. Let's lift and stretch the right leg back. Toes pointing towards the floor. You can peek down underneath your torso and make sure that the toes are pointed towards the ground. And then how would it feel to lift as though you were lifting the back of your right thigh up, up, up. Left leg is strong, hands are supporting you, and right foot is lifting. How would it feel to reach out through the heel of your right leg? One more full breath cycle here. And then let's lower the right leg, bringing the feet back together. Maybe a little wiggle of the knees. And then we'll move over to the other side. This time the right leg stays put, and we'll start lifting the left leg and reaching the left leg back behind us, toes pointing towards the floor. How would it feel to start lifting the back of the left thigh up, up, up? How would it feel to reach out through the left heel, flexing the foot? Right leg stays strong, hands support you, and left leg lifts. Keep breathing. And let's lower left leg. Bringing both feet back together, maybe a little wiggle of the knees. With your exhale, bending the knees generously. Then coming all the way up to standing with an inhale. And releasing hands back to your thighs, back to your sides rather. Moving into another balance. This time we'll use the backrest of the chair. So I've got it on my left side. And I'll start by balancing on the left leg, letting the right foot get light. So bringing right knee. Either the toes can stay on the floor. This might be where you stay today. Maybe you play with letting go of the hand, but with the kickstand of the toe to balance. Or maybe the hand remains available for balance and right foot or right knee comes up towards you, just like we did when we were doing our hip circles. So here's the tricky part. Using your right hand, how would it feel to draw the right knee out to the side? Remember how it felt to pull the right knee back with the use of your leg muscles. And can you find that again, even in this standing pose? Drawing the right knee back behind you. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths if it feels okay to stay. And let's draw right knee forward again. Stretching the leg out in front of you and then releasing to the ground. Finding any wiggling that would just feel good, little release. And then we'll find the balance on the other side. I'll switch sides. The chair has, or my right hand has the support of my chair this time. Setting up so that I'm standing on right leg, left leg starts to get light. Maybe the toes stay on the ground for this side. This is where we find the balance, playing with lifting the hands with the kickstand of the toe. Or maybe left knee comes up, up, up towards the chest. So how would it feel to bring the left hand to the left knee and draw left knee out to the left? Finding that same action that we did seated, how would it feel to draw left knee back behind you, using the power of your leg and outer hip? Remembering to breathe. It's just yoga. If you fall out, come on back in. And let's draw left knee forward again. Straightening the leg before releasing to the ground. Finding any counter movement. Beautiful. While we're standing, let's take a goddess pose. So stepping the feet wide, toes can point out towards the outer edges of the mat more or less. Knees are about in line with the toes. And then either having your hand on your chair for balance, or we could bring hands to prayer, bending into both knees as deeply as feels okay. This can be a shallow bend or a more deep bend. You might sway from one leg to the other a little bit, sort of settling into our goddess. And then finding your center. Sit bones low, heart high. Let's take 3 breaths here with an inhale, drawing arms into cactus. Exhaling back to prayer. Knowing you can come out whenever you want to, inhaling. And exhaling. One more round if it feels okay to stay. And then slowly straightening the legs. Walking the feet back in together. Either finding hip width distance or feet together, whichever feels better. And we might find one more side bend from standing. Arms could be wide or hands could come together. As you exhale, tipping over to one side. Inhaling back up when you're ready. And exhaling to the other side. Inhaling back up. Releasing the hands. Maybe a little roll of the shoulders to finish. Since we have access to the backrest of our chair, let's take one down dog chair variation before we close our practice and come back to seated. So hands resting on the backrest of the chair, walking the feet back. Feet can be wide, knees can be bent, reaching the tailbone in one direction and the crown of the head in the other. Stretching into the back. Pulling in the low belly might create a little more space in the low back if that feels good. And breathing. When you've had enough of the chair variation of down dog, make your way back to standing. Coming back towards the chair. Pausing for a moment as you arrive. And then as you're ready, making your way back to seated. Sitting comfortably in the chair, letting the thighs rest down. You can either keep the tall spine or relax against the backrest of your chair if you have one. Notice the sit bones on the chair. Notice the feeling of the backs of the thighs resting down. Notice your heels, the outside edges of your foot, the ball of your feet. Noticing the toes resting on the ground. Close practice, hands can stay exactly where they are. Or you could bring hands over your heart. Or hands into prayer position on Jala Mudra. Sending gratitude to yourself, first of all, for making the time to practice, to move and breathe in community, and to honor your own body and breath. With gratitude for allowing me to guide you through the practice. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who have come before us. Om Shanti Shanti, Om Peace, Peace, Peace. I'll stop the recording.